who are either useless to normal society or so dangerous that it's impossible to keep them among ordinary scent here. On one side of this desert lies a comfort zone, where every comfort is available, including food, shelter, and clothing. But behind this glitz and glamour, lie secrets no less than hell. On the other side are people who, driven by hunger and helplessness, have become. Therefore, they kill and eat whatever they find, even if it's a human. In this same barren desert, a girl named Arlene is abandoned, and this is where this horrifying story begins. Two police officers come to release Arlene, who has committed war. She must now spend the rest of her life on the other side of this wall. The American government bears no responsibility for what happens to her after this. This is clearly written on the board there. A barland is completely dependent on itself. Meanwhile, we see her carrying a piece of paper that reads, "Find the comfort." She continues walking alone through this barren and desolate desert, hoping for peace. After a while, she sees a crashed car ahead. She decides to rest inside it for a while. She doesn't even realize when she falls asleep. Suddenly, she is awakened by the sound of someone approaching. She sees some unknown men approaching her, weapons in their hands. Their faces clearly show brutality. Arlene conscious. When Arlene regains consciousness, she finds herself bound hand and foot. Looking around, we discover that she's been held captive inside a crashed plane. Then, a woman arrives and, without hesitation, cuts off Arlene's arms and legs and makes them her breakfast. Yes, you heard that right, breakfast. These are the people we talked about. It faints from the unbearable pain, but no one seems to care. Next, we see this entire cannibal family, which is quite large in number. They take great care of their fitness. But they also keep some humans captive so they never run out of food. Meanwhile, we see another character, Jason, who is part of this cannibal group. Jason also has a small family, which will face many misfortunes in the future. The story now shifts to amenities. Plenty of food to eat, clean water to drink. There's no shortage of anything here. Arlene notices that she's been locked in a dungeon-like space, possibly their storeroom. Just then, she hears a heart-rending scream from upstairs. Terrified, she wraps her own vest around her entire body. The next day, the same woman comes to pick her up. They have to eat, so she goes to get water. Meanwhile, Arlene discreetly hides an iron rod lying nearby. As soon as the woman returns, Arlene attacks her fiercely and kills her. A nearby prisoner witnesses her action, but he can't say anything because they ate his tongue for breakfast that morning. Arlene steals a skateboard and escapes. She rides a long distance on it, but she stops. Just then, an old man approaches her with a trolley. He kicks Arlene onto the trolley and drags her to the comfort zone gate. The man is very old, which is why he's still roaming freely. If he were younger, he'd be on someone's plate by now. When the people in the comfort zone see Arlene in this condition, they immediately realize this is the work of cannibals. They take her in, bandage her, and even provide her with a home. Arlene stays there for the next 5 months. We see her in much better shape, comfortable life. Meanwhile, we return to Jason. He's sketching his daughter, Kate, because he's a good painter. Just then, his wife comes in and tells him they've run out of food. Jason leaves his painting and goes to a girl he's tied up nearby, because that's the girl who's going to be his family's dinner. Although she pleads with him, Jason shows no mercy. Body. Meanwhile, one morning, we see Arlene. She's completely broken inside. Every time she looks at herself in the mirror, she clearly sees some flaw. Her severed arms and legs are a constant reminder of that pain. Now, she wants revenge on those cannibals at any cost. With this intention, one day, she manages to steal a gun. Then, she sneaks out of the comfort zone through a back passage, a passage rarely visited by people. We see Jachels. Hoping to find something useful, Arlene notices them. She quietly approaches them. Shellen, frightened, folds her hands before Arlene. She says she won't say anything to her. Just let her go, because she has her little daughter with her. But as soon as Arlene realizes Shellen is a cannibal, her rage erupts. Arlene says, "I begged you guys for my life too, but you cut off my arms and legs." Quote. Without a moment's delay, she shoots Shellen right there. Kate is at a loss for what has suddenly happened to her mother. She is stunned. Arlene notices the child and feels pity for her. She doesn't kill Kate to a rabbit. Arlene buys it and then takes Kate home. Arlene has no desire to hurt the girl, knowing Kate is not at fault. Meanwhile, after waiting for a long time, Jason leaves the house. His wife and daughter have not yet returned. He wanders around looking for them. Then he spots a garbage bin where his wife's body lies, and crows are gnawing at it. Seeing this, Jason understands that this is the work of a gang that supplies girls. Then he spots the same old man. Jason approaches him, shows him a picture. "What condition?" the old man asks. "You must draw a sketch just like mine, only then will I tell you where your daughter is." Quote. Hearing this, Jason's anger reaches its peak, but he is helpless. He sits there and sketches the old man. The old man then writes a word on the same piece of paper, "comfort zone." Seeing this, Jason realizes his daughter's whereabouts, and Arlene takes Kate to a club. At the same time, a grand party is being held for the richest man in Comfort Zone. John is the owner of this party. John supplies the powder throughout the area. You already know what I'm talking about. He also takes the same tablet. Meanwhile, we see Kate. Her rabbit slips from her hand and she runs after it to catch it. Just then, John appears. He spots Kate and takes her inside. John is also the mayor of the area, so no one there dares to stop her. Meanwhile, the powder has already begun to affect Arlene. The world around her begins to seem incredibly beautiful to her. But she continues to search for Kate. Completely lost, Arlene runs out of the party, searching for her. She wanders so far away that she doesn't even realize she's there. She doesn't even realize Jason is standing right next to her. When she wakes up the next morning, she sees Jason standing in front of her. A sketch of his daughter, Kate, and asks if she's seen her anywhere. Terrified, Arlene lies, "No, I haven't seen her anywhere." She lies because if Jason finds out the truth, he won't let her live. But Jason also needs Arlene, because anyone who comes near the cannibalistic comfort John is shot on the spot. That's why Jason offers Arlene a deal. He says, "I will leave you safe and sound inside your comfort zone and will not harm you. But in return, you must find my daughter inside and bring her back." Quote. He also gives her a clear warning. "If you try even the slightest trick, I will find you anywhere in the world, then chop you into turning alone would be extremely dangerous for her." A little further on, they encounter a man. He is part of the same cannibal clan. In other words, he is also a cannibal. He makes a deal with Jason. "Give me this girl's leg, and I will give you petrol in return." Jason refuses, because if he does, he will never find his daughter. Hearing this, the man says, "Look, brother, I'm very hungry. I'm going to take this girl. If you want to stop me, come and fight me." Quote. Suddenly, Jason hands Arlene over to him and takes the gasoline and starts walking away. Arlene screams, but no one seems to care. As soon as the man turns his back, Jason comes from behind and stabs him with a knife. The man falls to his death. Then, Jason cuts off one of his hands. The two begin moving forward again. The storm slowly subsides, but by then, darkness has fallen all around. So, they decide to spend the night there. Jason cooks and eats the dead man's hand, and gives it to Arlene. They have a long conversation, trying to get to know each other. Jason explains that he came to America on a board when he was 16 years old, but was apprehended at the border for illegal entry. He has been forced to live in this area ever since. There, Arlene tells her story. She previously worked for the National Security Agency, NSA. But she fell in love with a man from an enemy country. Blinded by love, she gave him some of her secret information. When the US learned of this betrayal, she was brought here and released. Behind. The bullet hits Jason, and he falls to the ground. Some people suddenly appear. They are from a comfort zone. They take Arlene with them and leave her there. But now Arlene doesn't feel at home. She doesn't want to leave Jason there. So she makes a very difficult decision and goes back to the place where she spent the evening with Jason. There, she finds Jason's sketchbook, which contains many sketches of his daughter, Kate. Seeing them, Arlene is devastated. She realizes that she herself was somehow responsible for Kate's disappearance. Now she decides to find Kate, no matter what. She returns to her comfort zone and asks everyone about Kate. But no one has any information about the girl. Meanwhile, the same old man sees some crows. He rushes there, only to find Jason lying unconscious. To save Jason, he catches a crow and feeds it, trying to revive him. Meanwhile, Arlene sits alone, saddened, unsure of what to do next. Then, she sees John's palace. Some women emerge, and one of them is Kate. Arlene does nothing at that moment. Meanwhile, Jason, with the old man's help, has now recovered. He thanks him and then sets off to find his daughter. Arlene arrives at the palace where several women are working. They are all filling the powder into small packets. Seeing this, Arlene begs them to let her work with Kate because he has no children of his own. This is why he hires Arlene as well. Then, a woman takes Arlene into a room to dress her up. Pretending to go to the bathroom, Arlene goes inside and retrieves a gun hidden inside her prosthetic leg. She then captures the same woman and takes her to John. Arlene tells John, "If you don't release that girl right now, I will kill her and the child in her womb." Hearing this, John is terrified. Without a second thought, he releases Kate. Arlene steps out of her comfort zone with Kate. Just then, Jason's with him. Hearing this, Jason becomes enraged. He says, "We are cannibals. You could become someone's prey at any moment." Quote. But Arlene refuses. She says she's starting to like Jason. She just wants to be with him. Meanwhile, Kate tells her father that she's very hungry. Out of compulsion, he cooks Kate's rabbit and feeds it to her. Seeing this, Arlene's eyes fill with tears. But friends, this is the reality of this world. Now, Jason has accepted Arlene as well. Meaning, the three of them have become a family. But for how long, even they themselves don't know, because no one knows when someone will become someone's food. And with this, the story ends.